If I was to ask you, what is one skill that you think could save someone's life? I'm sure the most common answer would be CPR. And this is true. This is one skill that we as first responders really wish that every single person knew, because when bystanders like you do CPR before we get to the scene, the chance of survival for that person is exponentially higher. So today I want to teach you the basics of CPR so that you can save a life one day, or at least help us as first responders save more lives. So let's get into it. What's up everybody? For those that are new here, my name is Matt, I'm a paramedic, and it is my mission to help provide you with the skills and tools to potentially save a life one day. But if you want to help save a life today, go ahead and hit that like, follow, and share button, because every person that watches this video is another opportunity for a life to be saved. Okay, so I need to start off this video with a disclaimer. By watching this video, you will not become certified in CPR, and I encourage every single one of you to go through a CPR class to get the hands-on learning experience that is crucial for learning this skill. But until you go and do that, I want to provide you with the basics of CPR so that you can go into that CPR class with a solid foundation. Okay, so with that disclaimer out of the way, let's learn about CPR. So in a previous video, I went over what to do when you come across an unresponsive patient. So I'm gonna go ahead and assume that you've already determined that the person is unresponsive and not breathing. Once you've determined that they are not breathing, you're gonna have someone call 911 and get an AED and first aid kit if one is available. Now, before you begin CPR, you're gonna wanna make sure the person is lying face up on a firm, flat surface. Now, you're gonna kneel beside the person and you're gonna place the heel of one hand in the center of the person's chest, and then place the other hand on top of the first hand and interlace your fingers. Now, this next part is really important. You want to position your body so that your shoulders are directly over your hands. This will allow you to push down on the chest using a straight up and down motion. This technique saves a lot of energy and allows for more effective compressions, which is by far the most important factor in CPR. Now, keeping your arms straight, you want to push down at least 2 inches and then let the chest return to its normal position. The rate you want to shoot for is between 100 and 120 compressions per minute, so that's roughly 2 per second. Another important factor when it comes to compressions is counting out loud. There will probably be a million things going through your mind at this time, and counting is not typically one of them. So make sure to count out loud so you can keep track of how many compressions you've done. Now, once you've reached 30 compressions, this is where we're gonna split off into 2 groups. If you do not feel comfortable providing rescue breaths for whatever reason, you can just continue to provide what's referred to as hands-only CPR. This is when a person just gives continuous compressions until first responders arrive. This technique can still be a lifesaver as well, but if you want to give the patient the highest chance of survival, then we're going to move on to rescue breaths. Okay, so once you're done with your 30 compressions, you're going to open the person's airway with what's called a head tilt chin lift maneuver. So to do this, place one hand on the person's forehead and 2 fingers of your other hand on the bony part of the person's chin. You're gonna tilt their head back just past neutral and take a normal sized breath. Create a seal over the person's mouth with your mouth and blow into the person's mouth to give the first rescue breath. Once you've successfully done that, repeat this again for a second rescue breath. Now, because compressions are by far the most important part of CPR, you do not want to take too long with the rescue breaths, and you want to resume compressions as quickly as possible. Once you've completed 1 cycle of 30 compressions and 2 rescue breaths, you're going to continue cycling through 30 compressions and 2 rescue breaths until one of 2 things happen. If you notice any sign of life, like movement or breathing, now I hate to break it to you, but this is very rare for somebody that went into cardiac arrest to immediately become alert and start talking. This makes for a great movie scene, but it's just not how it happens in real life. Now, the second reason you would stop CPR would be if an AED is available. Now, I'll be covering how to use an AED in my next video, so definitely hit that follow button so you don't miss out. There you have it. Those are the basic fundamentals of performing CPR. On your screen, you should see a page from my first aid booklet. So if you want to go back over this information again, you can either take a screenshot or watch the video again. And like I mentioned before, it's one thing to watch a paramedic teach you the basics of CPR, but I encourage every single one of you to enroll in a Red Cross CPR class so you can get that hands-on learning experience. All right, friends, one last reminder, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and I'll see you in the next video. Hey, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button over here so you don't miss any more life-saving advice in the future. And go ahead and check out one of these hand-picked videos on your screen. Take care.